Donald Trump is the president of the United States, and while America just witnessed one of the most powerful memorials in recent memory, the Charlie Kirk Memorial, the media and Hollywood elites are already doing everything that they can to try to bury what really happened inside that room, because there was a moment, a pure moment, so beautiful, so powerful that it cut straight through all the noise, all the lies, all the venom being spit by the left. A moment that showed the true heart of this movement. And guess what? They don't want you to see it. They don't want this clip going viral because it destroys the narrative in 1 second flat. Now, right on cue, Hollywood loses it. Angelina Jolie, yes, Angelina Jolie erupts in this massive meltdown, calling America under Trump dangerous and saying that she doesn't even recognize her own country. Now, I don't know if you like Angelina Jolie or not, but that is not just pathetic, folks. That is proof. It's proof that the elites are panicking. Proof that one simple act of faith and kindness inside that memorial broke Hollywood's script in half. Because I'm going to show you exactly what they tried to hide, why Hollywood is melting down, and why this one moment from Charlie Kirk's memorial, it's about to change everything. Hit the like button, subscribe, guys. So here we are, folks. President Donald J. Trump is president of the United States, and in the air inside of this country, it's electric. Like just hours ago, Charlie Kirk's memorial shook America down to its core, not because of chaos, not because of violence, but because of unity, because of faith, because of love for this country. And yet, what did Hollywood do? Well, what did the media do? They wasted no time spitting venom, twisting the truth, calling this incredible gathering something dark, something hateful. While families and children prayed and honored a young leader, the elite smeared it like it was some kind of a danger to America. Can you believe this? Can you believe them? But let me tell you right now, what happened inside that room tells a completely different story. And that story is exactly what they don't want you to hear. And that story begins with one clip, one pure moment that they will never put on CNN or Hollywood gossip rags, because it exposes them in an instant. Now, DJ Daniel, a 13-year-old cancer warrior, you may have seen him once or twice, already an honorary member of Trump's Secret Service, noticed something on the floor that no adult caught. Madison Cawthorn's shoelace had come undone. Madison, bound to his wheelchair, couldn't tie it himself. So Daniel walked right up, bent down, tied it for him. And then Madison pulled him close and they prayed together. Now think about that. Drop an amen for a child fighting for cancer, showing compassion for another man, tying his shoe, and then bowing in prayer. That's the heart of this movement, guys. That's the truth of who we are. And that, my friends, this is why the media stays silent, because one moment of kindness, one act of faith shatters every lie that they've been telling you about us for years. Now, Medicare is supposed to be your safety net, but too many retirees, they find out that it's full of holes. This is why I partner with Chapter. They make your Medicare plan feel like it's the security blanket that it was supposed to be. Now, one of our viewers said, "Hey Ron, I finally felt secure with my Medicare coverage after talking to Chapter." So let me ask you guys, do you want holes in your net or the security that most people already have? Now, most people are already calling the phone number at the bottom of your screen right there, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron. The telephone number is 909-563-8279. And of course, right on cue, Hollywood went into full-blown panic mode. Headlining the circus, Angelina Jolie. Yep, that's right. Angelina Jolie, hey, love her or hate her, she actually came out and said she's no longer recognizing America under Trump and that our nation is very dangerous. Dangerous? Let me ask you something. Who's really dangerous here? The families inside the memorial, bowing their heads in prayer, celebrating life, honoring God in our country, or Hollywood millionaires sitting in mansions telling you America's broken because Donald Trump is president? It's projection, guys. Plain and simple. They scream danger because they hate that President Trump is in the White House. They hate that the people are uniting, and they hate that faith is alive in America. Truth is, the only danger here is an elite class trying to strip us of the very values that made this country great. So Angelina Jolie, she spelled it out herself. Her worldview is equal, unified, she said her worldview is equal, united, and international. Okay, sounds good on paper, right? But let's be real, guys. That's a globalist. That's double speak, okay? That's not united. That's not unity rooted in America. That's not faith, family, or freedom. That is surrender to the very forces trying to erase what we stand for. Now, put that next to Charlie Kirk's legacy, okay? A young man who stood unapologetically for Christianity, for family, for America first, for empowering young people to rise up and believe in this great nation again. Kirk's vision was rooted in God and country. Jolie's vision, rooted in tearing it all down for some global fantasy where America no longer leads but bows down. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask, which one of those worldviews brings true unity? And which one destroys it, right? Drop a 1 if you agree with Angelina Jolie. Drop a 2 if you think that she is completely off base and she just needs to sit down and go somewhere. Now, to me, I feel like the answer couldn't be any more clear. And so here's where it gets even more disgusting. The media couldn't just report on the memorial. No, of course not. They had to brand it as if it was some white nationalist rally or a Christian nationalist gathering. Always the labeling, right? Now, think about that for a second, okay? Parents bringing their kids, families holding hands, people singing hymns and celebrating Charlie Kirk's life. And the headlines? Smears. Pure propaganda. They want you to believe faith in God, love in our country, and unity under Trump equals extremism somehow. This is not journalism, guys. This is narrative warfare. They're still at it again, even in spite of what's happened to us recently. So they couldn't allow America to see the truth. Now, they had to frame it the way that they want you to see it. They want to control how you think. They couldn't allow the pure moment of DJ Daniel tying Madison Cawthorn's shoe and praying with him to go viral without trying to poison it. Because if the truth goes out, if the truth gets out and goes viral, then their whole game is over. You see? And so if you really want to see the difference between good and evil, I mean, just look at what just happened outside versus inside. Inside, families are praying together, children honored, love, kindness, and faith on full display. But outside, protesters screaming vile garbage, carrying signs practically celebrating death, grown adults shouting so aggressively that they made little girls cry. That's the left's America, folks. That's their version of unity. Yeah, the contrast couldn't be any sharper. Inside was faith, outside was fury. Inside was compassion, outside was cruelty. And yet somehow the media points the cameras at the memorial and says, look at those dangerous extremists. No, the danger was right outside the door, and everybody knows that. So here's the part that too many people miss. Hollywood's meltdown isn't a sign of strength. It's a sign of weakness. You see, guys, when you're winning, you don't panic. When you're in control, you don't lash out like these clowns, okay? When you're secure in your ideas, you don't need to scream about dangerous times every time Trump speaks. But this is exactly what we're seeing from them, okay? Angelina Jolie, with all of her millions, all of her influence, all of her access to platforms, and she can't stop herself from unraveling in public. Why? Because the truth is slipping out. Because the American people are no longer buying what Hollywood is selling. I mean, look at the difference. Inside the Charlie Kirk Memorial, you had families of all backgrounds, mind you, standing together in faith. You had a child battling cancer showing more strength in one small act of kindness than Hollywood celebrities have shown in their entire careers. And outside, you had protesters raging, screaming, showing the ugliest side of humanity. Oh my goodness out there, right? Hollywood knows which story is more powerful, and it terrifies them. They know a single clip of a prayer and compassion undoes years of carefully crafted lies. They know Trump's America isn't crumbling, it's rising, and so they're panicking. They're screaming louder and louder. They smear harder and harder because every time we stand tall in faith and in unity, their grip on the narrative slips through their fingers. And so that's what this all comes down to, faith versus fear. Charlie Kirk, he lived the life of faith. He said it plainly, Christ is king. Fear God, fear no man. And that's exactly what the memorial represented. No despair, not hatred, not division, but faith in God, faith in family, and faith in this nation under Donald J. Trump. Now, compare that to Angelina Jolie's comments. What did she offer? Fear, panic, projection? She told the world she no longer recognizes America, that it's dangerous under Trump. Dangerous? No. What she really means is that she doesn't recognize an America where she can no longer control it. She doesn't recognize a country that refuses to bow down to globalist fantasies of equal, united international rule. She doesn't recognize a people who will not let Hollywood dictate their values anymore. Can I get an amen, guys? I mean, faith builds, fear tears down, faith unites, there's nothing but positive that comes with faith. But look at fear. Fear divides. Faith says, we can get through this together. Fear says, burn it all down unless you give us power. And right now in 2025, it is obvious which side is standing on solid ground. The faith side, the America First side, the Trump side. And this is why Jolie and the rest of Hollywood elites are lashing out, because their fear-based narrative collapses every time the American people see a child like DJ Daniel kneeling to tie a shoelace and pray. They can scream about danger all they want, but faith speaks louder than their fear. And that, folks, this is why we're winning. So here's where I need to be so crystal clear right now with you right now, okay? Do not under any circumstances let Hollywood or corporate media or the political left define who we are as a movement, okay? They want to stick labels on you: racist, extremist, fascist, Christian, nationalist. They want you to feel ashamed of your faith, ashamed of your family, ashamed of your love for this country. But let me tell you something. Those labels are lies, because I've already seen who you are. I read your comments. I read your comments. I've met you at rallies, and I've talked to you in person. You are parents who want your kids to grow up in a safe, strong America. You're hardworking men and women who just want to put food on the table without the government stealing half your paycheck, right? You're veterans who fought for this flag, who, for the right to bow your head in prayer without being mocked by Hollywood elites like Angelina Jolie. And so when Donald J. Trump stepped back into the White House this year, that was the proof that America has not given up. That was the proof that millions of us are still here, still standing, still refusing to let globalists, celebrities, and liars dictate our futures. So this is why they're screaming. That is why Angelina Jolie is melting down on camera, because she doesn't recognize this country anymore, okay? And you know what? She's right. She doesn't recognize it, because America is finally being restored to its people, not to the elite. So my call to you is very simple. Hold your ground. Speak the truth, stay active, whether it's voting, whether it's sharing these stories, whether it's teaching your kids to love God and love America. Don't give them an inch, because if we let them define us, they win. But if we define ourselves by faith, by love, by truth, they lose every single time. And that brings me to this one clip, this one pure moment. A 13-year-old boy, DJ Daniel, fighting cancer, quietly bending down to tie Madison Cawthorn's shoelace, then bowing in prayer. That's the moment of this movement. That's the real America. No screaming protester can take that away from us. No headline can erase that. No celebrity meltdown can bury it. But here's where it really matters, because when people see that moment, when they see that kind of kindness, the compassion, the faith, it destroys years of lies in an instant. Hollywood can't compete with that. The media can't spin their way out of that. This is why they're so desperate right now. This is why they're panicking. This is why Angelina Jolie is calling Trump's America dangerous and saying she doesn't recognize her country, because the tide has turned. For years, they thought they had control of the narrative. For years, they thought that they could shame you into silence. But now, the more they slander, the stronger we get. The more they panic, the more obvious it becomes that they're losing. Now, here's the part you cannot forget. This movement doesn't belong to the elites. It doesn't belong to Hollywood. It doesn't belong to the media. It belongs to you, the families, the workers, the believers, the patriots who are building a better America brick by brick, prayer by prayer. So don't slow down, guys. Don't back off. Keep sharing these moments. Keep showing the world the truth, because every time we amplify the pure moments they want to hide, every time we expose the meltdown on the other side, we take another step forward toward victory. Now, make no mistake, they will fight us tooth and nail. I'm sure they will. They will scream. They're going to smear. They will throw everything that they've got, but they cannot stop what God has started in this country. A movement that was built on faith, family, and freedom cannot be destroyed. And that, my friends, this is why we're going to win. Like this video, subscribe, share it with everyone you know. Let's make sure that the pure moment that Hollywood doesn't want America to see is the one that spreads the furthest. Because when the truth shines, their lies collapse, and the future of this nation is secured. We'll see you guys next time.